my honor and pleasure to welcome everyone to the Black Sustainability Summit. And I'm Dr. Osimiri, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, from a small village called Nkuru. And when I was made chief in that village, they gave me a name, Ogele. Ogele means the voice of the people. And so my role is to speak on behalf of my community and do whatever it takes to bring in programs or individuals, so to speak, that can help uplift the community. The NWALOTAC Project, which is slated to occur August 17, it was actually supposed to be this year, but we've changed it to, I don't have the specific date that we're going to, by the time, in due time, we'll give you a specific time where we're going to have it, but it's going to be August of next year, okay? That way we're going to have a whole lot more participation. One of the challenges we had really was the fact that the governor of Abia State, our state, had supposedly won the governorship, but was challenged by somebody else. So it's been in court all this time. So we weren't quite clear, okay, who are we going to see when we get there, So it kind of threw a monkey wrench on the whole thing, and it slowed up the, the programs and the planning and all that sort of thing, because we wanted to make sure that the governor of the state is the person that you're going to meet when you come. But that's been settled, thank God, and we now know who the governor is, and so that we're preparing in earnest to go to Nigeria. It's still going to be Air France. Air France because it's cheaper, and this program is being hosted by the African Women Economic Consortium, of which I'm president. And we're going to be using, the transportation is going to be Inosim Motors. It's so interesting, Inosim Motors, because what we want is to support an African car manufacturer, okay. Because a lot of times we all go for Toyotas and all that kind of stuff, and then those brilliant minds that are manufacturing cars in Africa are not getting the kind of support they need.
Do you mind spelling the name of the...
Inosim. It's Innoson. Okay. Inosim Motors.
Inosim Motors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was struggling a little bit. So what we're trying to do is make sure that he gets some kind of support. So he's going to provide. We're going to get cars, transportation
wonderful.
From him. And the next thing is presenting Nigerian villages, an approach for community growth and poverty mitigation through job creation, business opportunities, and associated with tourism. I had the opportunity to go to an event where the discussion was, why Nigeria? Why do business in Nigeria? And I thought that was a very interesting, question. My question to them then was, why not Nigeria? Nigeria, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in 2020 is going to be, no, actually it's in 10 years, I think, is going to be one of the 10 largest, economies. Can you imagine what that would mean?
I thought it was in the top 5. Okay.
It's going to be one of the top 10. Okay. Yeah. And it fits in there somewhere, but it's one of the top 10. Okay, that's a lot. That's powerful, and so why not Nigeria? I think that unfortunately people don't understand that when you bring business to a country, that's a good thing. However, that's not all it's all about. You have to find out what else makes that country tick. As a matter of fact, many businesses fail because we don't take the time to find out about the people first. We just think they need this thing that I have to present to them. And then when you come, you find, well, it may be important to you, but not necessarily that important to them unless they fully understand it. And the only way they do understand it is that you take the time and learn about them. Why not Nigeria? Nigeria has mineral resources more than any other, and has manpower. I think in all of Africa, it has the most population, the manpower, the human resources, and you name it. If you're doing any business and you do it in Nigeria, you got the manpower that you need, the human resources that you need to get the work done, right? At very reasonable cost to you. You understand what I'm saying? So we've got mineral resources. And we just found out we have black pearls. I don't know if you heard about that. Yeah, in my village. And then we walk around, we see it. We didn't even know, because, and it's not ignorance. And I tell people it's not because we're ignorant, but because what we put value, is more on human life than all these trinkets, So, but now we found that we have Australians and all those people. It's very interesting, all these people in our village. What are they looking for? Well, we've got that resource, okay? So why not Nigeria? Nigeria has culture. And all these things help when we talk about tourism. What helps with tourism is not just the economic, opulence and technological know-how that you may bring to them. Okay, what makes Nigeria a good place for you to go is because, number one, they need the tourism. When you're a tourist, you bring money, but they give you something in return. You learn about their culture, their vibrant culture. You learn about their economic, it's economic culture as well. You learn about their food. You learn about their music. You learn about their dance, their clothing, textiles, and there's so much you can learn. Why not Africa? Why not Nigeria? Nigeria, when you go to Nigeria, people are always smiling. You see, sometimes we misunderstand. We need to redefine poverty. Okay? Because we think that poverty has everything to do with just how much money you have. If you don't have money, then you're poor. No, poor as far as you're concerned, poor only in the sense that I can't buy certain things that you think will add quality to my life that probably I don't care about. For a lot of these people, poverty means not having human beings to be with. Not having simple yam to eat. Do you understand? Not having slippers. That's what they consider poverty. Not because they don't have the highest high-tech stuff or they don't have the fanciest home. That's not poverty to them. Wealth to them is that they have human interaction. Wealth to them is that they have the basic needs to survive. Wealth to them is that my neighbor and I can have across the fence, we can chat, that the children have food to eat. That's wealth to them. So when you come, you're going to find a totally different way of looking at things. Now, I have to admit that a lot of that has changed. A lot of that has changed. You will find more and more people who are more, inclined to want the European way of life.
Is that only in a particular area, or has it spread all across Nigeria? Is it just more in the metropolitan areas, or is it? It
certainly has spread.
Okay.
It's moving because now what you have in the villages, those who are coming from the townships are bringing all of that into the village, making the villagers now feel that, my God, we don't have anything now, do I? So then you find that you're creating individuals who are no longer satisfied with their lot. Now everybody wants to achieve, and there's nothing wrong with trying to achieve, of course not. But what are we trying to achieve? It's something that destroys our culture, that sort of thing. So why not Nigeria? When you come to Nigeria to do business, your role, you must come with a sense of adventure. You can't expect to see America in Nigeria because then you need to just stay here. When you leave here and go to Nigeria, know that the opportunities, anything that you try in Nigeria will make you money. I don't care what it is. A lot of African Americans do not understand that you have the power to go there and become very wealthy. Now, I find that a lot of African Americans actually go there because of heart. They want to, connect with the homeland and all of that. So very few of them go there to try to take advantage of the indigens. They want to assimilate. But you find that the indigens are saying, well, you're rich. Why would you want to be a part of us? But they don't understand that a lot of these African Americans that I've had the opportunity to take home just want to connect. So when we connect them, we also give them an opportunity, okay, to meet others. That's what's exciting to me about the NWALOTAC Project, okay, because we don't want you to come home as guests, because you're not guests. My children were not born in Nigeria. Does that make them not Nigerians? They're still Nigerians. Okay, their ancestors are Nigerians, so they're still Nigerians. And in my culture, the child is from where the mother's from.
That does it.
Yeah, so they're automatically Nigerians because I'm from there. All right, so all they need to do now is get their passports and all that stuff, register them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but when you come to Nigeria, you have to come with an open mind. I get so frustrated when people talk about Nigeria and 419. Now, when you market America, you don't market America based on all the negative things, but I can give you a whole list of them.
I'm sure you can.
Okay,
I can add to it.
You can add to it. But that's not what sells America.
Right.
So that's not what the emphasis is on. I have people say, well, they're all crooks over there. Nigerians are 419. I said, you know what? I don't want to make any enemies, so I just leave that alone. You know your country. You deal with that. But I tell you one thing: those 419 things you're talking about. You've got kids at the computer contacting you and telling you that your great-grandmother, who has $70 billion, died in an air crash, and if you give me $10,000, I'll give you $70 billion. Does that make sense to you? All I have to do is take that 10,000 from your 70 billion and give to you. Why would you give me 10,000 when I've got 70,000? This is con artists being conned by other con artists, and you complain about that.
Very true.
You have all of that all over the world. It's nothing unique. So why not Nigeria? The NWALOTAC Project is trying to say, look, come home. It's an acronym. The acronym is NWALOTAC. Nigeria welcomes Africans living outside the African continent. NWALOTAC, and guess what? NWALOTAC means children come home. We didn't even know that's what it would translate to. But that's what it was amazing when we looked at it and said, NWALOTAC, children come home.
Well, which language?
Igbo.
Igbo, okay.
NWALOTAC, but we were just writing the acronym for Nigeria welcomes Africans living. And then when you say NWALOTAC, it says children come home. How divine is that? So what we're trying to do is not have African Americans come home and just become guests. We want you to come home and become part of the community. Now, it doesn't make you a citizen. You have to go through the process of applying for a citizen. But when you come and you become a part of the community, the way to do it is we take you through what we call the age grade. Okay. When you go through the age grade, locally you become a part of that village. So now that gives them the impetus to give you land.
Beautiful. So now I would like to explain for some who are not familiar, when you're talking about the age grade, you're talking about almost kind of like the rites of passage program for the different age groups. And
That's right.
Each age group goes through they have certain responsibilities as a part of the community. And so when you agree to doing those types of things, then now you're a part of that. They're celebrated. They even give you a certificate saying, identifying what age grade. Now, traditionally in the past, unfortunately, that has changed. We've adopted the initially we adopted the British system, then the American system of governance. But we used to have what we call the age grade system of governance. So the various age grades rule. Okay, when it gets to like this particular community, a particular age grade rules. And it is important for them to do a good job because you don't want your age group
age grade, you know, to be for anybody to complain and say, well, that age grade did a terrible job. So people conduct themselves honorably and dignified manner, and they run, and then they hand it to the next age grade. And they start to teach those children very young. By age 10, they're all part of an age grade, and they're learning about the mores and the laws of the land and what roles they will play. When they get to that age grade, then they become rulers, you know. And you didn't fight over it. You didn't vote over it, you know. It's just this age grade. So that the age grade will pick from themselves who will lead, you know.
The next one.
Who will lead within that age group. Yeah,
okay.
amongst them, you know. A particular person that they are going to, they're identifying as their leader. But that age grade has to do a very good job. Okay?
That's beautiful accountability measure.
Yeah, yeah. So that is what NWALOTAC is talking about. You know, we're making a commitment to programs that aid to improve employment opportunities and address the abject poverty in the country. Yes, we must do that. We don't do it necessarily by you coming and we just give you something and you walk away. We want you to come and then become a part of the employment opportunities for these people. If you get land that you don't pay for, and let's say you start, I always tell people when you come, start a textile industry or start something like that, because you get the opportunity to hire a lot of people. Do you understand? So you're providing jobs, and when you do that, they will support you. Whatever it is you're selling, they will buy it because you're employing their people. So a lot of people come in there, they don't think that way. They just bring these things. Don't just bring something. If we give you land, use it and do something. Okay. And I remember the young men who went to Nigeria. They were taken to Nigeria, and one of the things that they noticed was the fact that if you're trying to charge your phone, you know, the electricity is not there. So based on that, you know, you're going to have to go find somewhere to plug in your phone, you know, if it dies. So I told them, well, you know what? When you find a need and fill it, then you will become wealthy. So don't complain to me about electricity. You know about solar panels. Do something with it. So you know what they did? They came back to the United States and they built these boxes. With sockets and all that stuff.
I've seen those.
You know, and they have
the
it.
Solar chargers.
They have the solar chargers all over the streets. So they're going through Africa doing that. And they're making money for themselves. So you find a need and fill it. And when you're given land, you can fill that need with the land. You can build something, you know. And the thing about it is the American dollar is very strong. So it doesn't take too much for you to start anything. You know, you can start farms. Nigeria is very big right now on farming. You can do a lot of farming there. You know what I'm saying? And you sell what you farm right there. You don't have to send it abroad.
Very nice.
You see what I'm saying? So what we're trying to do is open the door and say, become part of the community. We're taking people to all the different local governments, you know, because it's the local governments who own the land. They are the ones who will determine, you know. So each person that we take there is going to become a member of a age grade in a particular local government. You see, and then you become a part of that community, and they're looking to you to use that land and start business and employ their people. And let me tell you, if you employ their people, they will support you. Whatever you're selling, they'll buy it.
Okay.
Whatever you're selling, they'll buy it. Okay. So given the foundation of growth in many countries of the world is tourism, it is considered a very key component for the war on unemployment and poverty. These people are talented. Some of them are artists. You know, you go there, you know, you buy from them. You know, if nobody's buying from them, you know, what's the point of producing things? But you have tourists coming in, you know, they benefit from them, and they create more things for you to see and all that sort of thing. So we don't want you to just come and be, you know, happy-go-lucky tourists and stuff. Become a part of the community, and you can make a good living for yourself in Africa, in Nigeria. I can tell you how many people are really, really killing it, you know. Building the tourist industry around the cultural uniqueness of various Nigerian communities will spur the natural curiosity from the global community to visit and spend their money, thereby accomplishing the government's strategic objectives, because the government has agreed that tourism is the way to go. I think it's the not World Health Organization. The reason why Nigeria, or Africa for that matter, is struggling is because you're not capitalizing on your culture. Culture is a big draw, tourist draw. Many people go to Japan for what? To see their culture. And you're there to do business, but you also want to see the culture of the people.
Right.
We have to become cognizant of that as well. Not just keep trying to get people to come to do business, and we're not willing to show them what makes us Nigerian. Why not Nigeria?
Right. Or ashamed to really show your true culture because you're trying to take someone else's.
That's right. And because sometimes, unfortunately, the church frowns upon culture. Yes. There are some places in Nigeria where the churches are burning people's shrines. Yes. Whole shrines, just big bonfire. It's, your people have the right to go to church and do whatever they want to do. But only a fool would allow, there's an African proverb that says, that means nobody says mama's soup is bad. Whatever mama gives you, you eat it. And you say, it is so good. You see two children arguing. Your mama can't cook like my mama. And you find that the mama really can't cook. But not as far as that child is concerned. That's what nourishes my body. So yes, my mama can cook. You see, that's what. But that's not what we're doing. We say that our culture is bad. And we don't use it to make money. You come to America, let's outline all kinds of things that go on, the jazz festival, the this and the that. I mean, there's so much going on here. And people actually travel from all over the world just to come here and see what you have to offer. But ain't nobody talking about all those are the people in the streets who are the homeless people. Nobody shows that. Nobody shows about the racist people. The Ku Klux Klan and all that. You don't focus on that. Doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. You know what I'm saying? But you focus on Washington, the Washington Monument, the Dr. Martin Luther King, and all of those positive things, Grand Ole Opry, all of that sort of thing. Whatever your culture is, America does a very good job of that. America does not spend time showcasing challenges because challenges will be there. Let's remember, Nigeria is only got its independence in 1960. In 1960, it's a very young country. America got its independence over 300 years ago. And we're just 57 years old.
Put it in context, yes.
Do you understand? So we're going to have all those little, frayed parts of the society that need to be put back together. It's all right. It's all part of growth. But we cannot be beaten down or looked down upon because of those struggles, because everybody else has it. Even those who have been 300 years old, So what NWALOTAC is trying to do is showcase all that good stuff. All that good stuff. The strategies. Nigeria has national strategies, it's got zonal strategies, it's got street strategies, local government strategies, family strategies. They're all coming together, to help create a tourist industry in Nigeria. Okay? Even the streets, there's campaign to have the different streets in order, families working together, in the society. Okay. We also have national strategies. There's so much going on. But what NWALOTAC is focusing on is taking little bits of all the national strategies and putting it all together, but make African Americans the target.
I see.
The Chinese are there. Do you know what I'm saying? The Chinese are there, the Asians are there, you name it, they're all there, but you're not there. You're not there. And I, like I indicated to you, because my children were not born in Nigeria doesn't mean they're not Nigerian anymore. Well, just because your ancestors are no longer here and you were born here, you don't stop being Ghanaian. You don't stop being, you know what I'm saying? Even if you have a mixture here and there, claim whatever, that's your continent. So that land that we're giving away, let's give it to the children who were taken, the descendants of those who were forced out of their home. We need to reclaim you. It doesn't mean you have to live there if you don't want to, but you might as well do business there because everybody else is there doing it but you. And that is your land. Now some people say to me, oh, you can't tell them that. I say, why not? Prove me wrong. Where am I wrong? These are their ancestors.
Do they require you to do a DNA test, or it's just you come in, you go through the age group,
no,
you spend
no DNA,
a few months,
no DNA, none of that.
All right.
No.
Beautiful.
I don't promote that.
Okay.
I don't promote that because, you know, I find I'm 20% this, I'm 30% that. You black?
We are, right,
yeah,
right.
You can claim whichever country you want for.
Because we've been so mixed and so pushed around. Look, this is not our fault. This was constructed. So allow me to
pick which one you like. When you visit Africa, and the reason why NWALOTAC is doing what it's doing is I want you to visit, and then you determine.
I think that is very.
Do I love Nigeria?
Yes.
Why not Nigeria? I always say, why not? Come and meet my people. Huh? Come and meet my people. See my culture. See the opportunities that abound. Meet the officials. Meet the local government. Meet people in the society. And then determine, do I want to come back here? But before you say no, we're going to make it so that you can't say no. Because part of what makes you a Nigerian is that you own land. So if we give you land, then we expect you to do something with it. They don't give land and say, okay, just let it sit there. No, do something with it.
Activate the land.
Activate it and do something with it. You see what I'm saying? We make sure that you sign the right papers. You have an attorney there. The attorney will let you know what the do's and don'ts are. We don't we don't want to fake anything. You know, we actually have attorneys that will say, okay, if you give him or her this land, okay, what are the ramifications? How can she or he hold on to this property? You know, that you've given to them. So, you know, we have attorneys that do that. But the bottom line is that we don't want you to just come there and then you just, you know, hey, I went to Nigeria. No. I want you to come, and when you leave, you say, I am from Enugu. I did my 8th grade in that community.
Right.
That's my community. And I don't have to go back with you. Anytime you go, that's your community now. And they will remember. And you become you become their child. Now, every time they tell you, well, you know, you have to be careful because, you know, these people, please, not everybody's out to kidnap you.
And it's no worse than just living here.
It's not, I mean, you don't even know. You step out of this house, you don't know. You know? So we need to, I say, we have to develop that sense of adventure. When you leave here and go to Paris, are you French? What do you know will happen to you there?
Right.
But we're quick to buy tickets. Oh, I'm going to London. Where's all these places? I'm going to Sweden. I'm going to Mexico. You know, me and my, you know, we're going. What is the difference? If you say, I'm going to Nigeria, do your research. Know exactly where you're going. These people are beautiful people. They're not interested in hurting you. Never mind all that propaganda to keep you from going. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So, but you have to have that adventurous mindset. And you go with NWALOTAC Project.
All right. You're in good hands.
Yes,
you're in good hands.
You're in good hands with NWALOTAC.
Yes.
You know, because that's our goal. We want you to go and come back and tell everybody about it.
I think this is a beautiful project for people to go, see, learn, be with a trusted resource. Do a little scouting and learning for yourself after you've done your research. Go and then get land and then have a plan for how to activate it.
That's right. Have a plan. And my thing is, what you're doing, you're also doing for your children. You know, you're doing by establishing business there. And like I said earlier, there are lots and lots and lots of opportunities for whatever it is you bring. For whatever you bring, we're trying to bring international business people there, but we also want you to have a jolly good time, so that you want to keep coming back and coming back. That's part of that tourism we're talking about. That Nigeria finally has woken up and realized that they have to do tourism. Now, somebody did talk about, what about Boko Haram? What about Boko Haram? I said, well, what about Boko Haram? Those things are nothing new. The government is working to handle that. That's not my problem. My problem is to take you where there are no such challenges. Where we are in the East, where we're going to be mostly going, there's no such. It's so peaceful. You can go wherever you want to go. As long as you're with us, you don't have to worry about that. I've taken many people over and over for many years, and some of them don't even want to come back. Some of them are still thinking, oh my God, I want to go back so badly. Those people were just wonderful. We had such marvelous time. And that's what we want to do. Make sure you have the hotels are nice that you're going to be staying in, you know, and then we'll take you to the village, you know, so that you can meet the villagers.
Do you stay in the village, or you just stay in the hotel?
No, I stay. Who? Yeah,
when they travel, do you have the opportunity to stay?
Yeah, because we have the Village of Hope, which is the NWALOTAC village.
Yes.
You know, so we have they are mud homes, but I love it.
I love them too.
We call it. People want to call them huts, and all that. I call them earth homes.
They're from the ground up because you're using the materials that are already there.
That's right.
It is easily accessible. It is not expensive, and there's a divine science or precise science that our ancestors had in building it, so they can stay cool. So that when you go, I'm really excited about that.
And then we're painting them, with art, and it's like an art village.
Ooh.
It's gonna be just then fruit trees, and of course the fruit trees are small, but the palm trees, and so we're going to spend about a couple of days there, because we're going to have masquerades. We have the masquerade competition. It's an actual competition, and the dancers, the winning group will win 500,000 naira.
Oh, this is going to be be big.
So the competition is going to be fierce. And it's in your honor. You never see such a thing. You will never see such a thing.
Wow.
It's like our own Mardi Gras. It's our own Mardi Gras in this what's the name of this local government. Okay, so we're gonna have masquerades from everywhere coming to compete, and you're the judge. You guys will select the winning.
That's beautiful.
We want to make it so incredible. That's why I say, why not Nigeria? Don't look at all those negative stuff. Nigeria's got so much to offer, so much. It's just a beautiful place. We're not going to be hung up on all these unfortunately, really, they do it on purpose just to put the country down. And but the vice president, our president's not well. The vice president is working very hard to kind of stabilize things up north, where you have the Boko Haram. Boko Haram right now, if I may just talk about that a little bit, their numbers are so reduced. You're hardly hearing about them doing anything anymore. I cannot tell you what the president, the governor, the leadership has done, to curb it. But it's getting less and less and less. But it's up north, so it's really Muslims against Muslims. they're killing each other over there, and then some Christians get caught up into religion, So we have the NWALOTAC Project. We're going to have the involvement of some federal ministries, business sectors, representatives from the business sectors will be there. Some of the states, although Abia State is the main state, but the different states will have receptions for us. So we have the governors of various designated states, and then of course the selected local governments and their cultural leaders. And then the big surprise is you're going to actually see the authentic African spiritualists.
All right.
Oh, they're gonna come out from they're going to be from Enugu State.
Okay.
These are cultural culture. They haven't lost their culture, because I want you to see that as well. I want you to see all the fancy stuff, but I also want you to see the indigenes, and how they conduct their spiritual way of life, that sort of thing. So they'll be there as well.
So it's prior to colonialism. This is what the tradition has continued to go through, and I think that some people who are tuning in or listening may not have a full understanding. Just basically they've only seen either Christianity or Islam. And so when you're looking at your traditional African spiritual systems,
Chiism. Chiism, that's religion hung directly on the creator, and the creator who has both male and female essences, and it's duality. Chi being the male, the seed, and Ike being the womb, and where the chi is planted, all right, and after the child is born, that is carried, the chi coming from the creator is carried in the woman's womb, right, and when that child is born, she has the chi, that conscience, when you're doing something, that stuff that tells you, you have no business doing that. That's the chi.
Told me,
it was implanted in the child, and from birth to death, you have the chi in you, and that's the significance of woman. And so, in African spirituality, or at least in our spirituality, a woman. There is no creator without female. So we don't make women feel inferior and all that sort of thing, or you have to look up to her. Even the men back then, they understand that chi needs his eke. Without the eke, there is no chi. You hear what I'm saying? So we want you to see that in action, and we do that here too. We try to practice Chiism, where we train our own children, we lecture to our own children. We don't put the children in the lion's den, because they will not come back out as they are elephants, and we want the elephants to be trained by the elephants, not put in the lion's den. So and that's kind of what you're going to see. You're going to see their spirituality in all its glory. And hopefully give it its respect back, because when people think about African spirituality, they think of all these negative things, the voodoo and all that stuff, but then they don't even know what voodoo is. They don't even know what that is. Because the Europeans could not pronounce voodoo, they called it voodoo, but without letting people know, and then they put it in the movies and have people acting all crazy. That's not what that is.
Right.
That's a spiritual order, and they are organized, and they have nothing but love for the creator as part of their foundation. Their foundational principles is wrapped around the creator. But we give it all kinds. So we give African spirituality all kinds of bad names, and we forget the good in it, and how our society has always been sustained by our spiritual way of life. So you get an opportunity to see that as well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So and I don't think you'll be quite the same when you come back. So when I say why Nigeria, you're gonna say why not? Yeah. So that is the NWALOTAC Project, and we are hoping that many people will come.
Okay. Do you have a target number, or what's the capacity for you to take? How many people were you looking to take? So,
we're hoping, my comfortable number is 30.
Okay.
If we can,
that's a good management.
And I want to just very briefly, it's August when we're going to be. It's August 18th to till September the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
August 18th to September the 1st. That is the trip.
Beautiful. All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, I hope you can go, because it's going to be very different, and that's what I say to people. It's going to be different. It's not like anything you've seen before, because we're going all out. It's the red carpet treatment.
All right.
Yeah. And our website, African International Centers .org, African International Centers.org, has information about the trip. Okay, so that's where you can go and find out a whole lot more, and you can register there.
Okay.
Once you register, and I say to people, because it's like $1,400. $3,400. Okay, and I don't want people to wait until then.
Right.
Stop putting your money aside right now. Matter of fact, you can register
and
start making your payments, so that when that time comes, you're done.
And so with it being $3,400, I know some people may say, oh, well, I can get a ticket cheaper, or I can do this, I can do that. They will be there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
For 2 weeks, and that includes
That includes everything.
Transportation, hotels, lodging, food.
The whole shop.
Visits, every single thing. And
everything that ordinarily will cost you a lot of money, to do, it's all in there. Just a minute, and I'm glad that you asked that question, because that's the first thing they want to know. Well, what do I get for that? That's it. Look, I can get my ticket for $900. It's not about you getting the ticket, because it's beyond that. It has to do with the total thing that you're going to get.
Yes.
And let's see. No, actually, it's not $3,500. I beg your pardon. It's $4,500.
Okay.
Okay. And this is what it includes: your flight, round trip ticket.
Yes.
Your lodging, all your food, your trips from state to state, because you're not going to be sitting in one place. Your trip to state, and your feeding from state to state for all the activities. What do you call it? Receptions, all of that. All of that is paid for. Now, there's some things that we may not even get charged for, but that's the safe amount, and that's cheap. Go for what I'm trying to give you. Check it out, or the cost to go somewhere. Some people charge $7,000.
Yeah, and so I would say to that, having been somebody who travels on a budget, I typically don't spend anywhere near $2,000 when I even go on the continent or go to the continent. But I'm always living very meagerly. I'm not staying in hotels. I don't get red carpet rolled out, and so those are some things for people to consider. It's not just going to visit, walk around, and kind of find it out as you can. You're going with a secure group. You're going with somebody who's very knowledgeable, who has very solid resources, connections, and you are getting an experience of a lifetime. This is not just a side trip. So I want to make sure people understand that, and you're also getting the opportunity to get land, and you have access to legal fees, and you have all of these things that you would be paying for out of pocket, as well as your transportation. Ground transportation to and from some places can change, and it may not be solid or secure, and you may be back a couple of days. And so what you're doing is providing all of that logistics. All of that. You don't have to worry about anything except for getting to the plane and getting back on it.
Getting back, that's it. And if you're a vegetarian, you let us know ahead of time, so we make sure, because Africans really don't eat meat. Most of the food is not based on meat.
Right.
But some people like to add meat to their soup. Some people don't. Like some of our soups is made with what do you call it? Egusi. Egusi, that's melon seed. What they do is they ground the melon seed, and then they roll it. Okay? When they roll it and they make soup with it, that becomes the meat. So a lot of them don't use regular meat. You know, so if you're vegetarian, then you know that's the kind of food you get. Okay. You know, your egusi soup with the, you know, and then lots of veggies, that kind of thing. And so we want to cater really to whoever, you know, all the different individuals, because not everybody eats the same thing.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. So for $4,500, you can make installments or payments on it as you go through, so that it's something that people.
You've got a whole year to do that. A little over a year, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's doable.
Yeah.
That's doable.
So because a lot of people say, okay, I'll get the money by then. No, don't do that. Go ahead and register and start making your payments. You know, whatever you can afford. Maybe you can afford a little bit more today and less next month, and then maybe more. You know, it all depends on your circumstances. But you are paying so that you go on this trip. This is the trip. I'm trying to tell you. Maybe
some also ways for them to make some additional funds. There are lots of different options for people that want to drive or do things part-time.
Yeah, you know, I always say to people when they say, well, I don't have money, I say, do Lyft. Do Lyft. You got doctors and lawyers, engineers, you have every kind of person driving Lyft. You have a car? Sign up for Lyft. Sign up for Lyft.
And just take that
money. Just so you know, if you sign up, so I'm saying this to everyone, if you sign up for Lyft, okay, I believe it's $850 if you give 150 rides, okay, then that's a bonus that you get.
Oh wow.
You know,
that takes care of
a portion of that.
A portion of the cost already off the top.
Yeah. And if you're working, take 2 hours before you go to work and drive Lyft, and then 2 hours after you get up from work and you drive Lyft or Uber, and you know, that way you're not even touching your own personal money. You bank what you do, you know, what you make from your job, and then you use Uber. For me, I do it because I have to pay my tuition, my student loans back. But I don't want to use my money. I want to bank my money. I don't want to give it. You know, when you work and you take the money from your job and you're paying these bills, what are you retiring with? Yeah, you could pay the month for the month and they don't bother you. Oh gosh, I've made my monthly payment. But the next month it comes again. And you find you can't save anything. We don't need to give away our money. We have a means of making money to pay some of those nagging things, and also to use it to buy something. Hey, maybe you want to buy a little whatever, you know, maybe you want to buy a house. You could do Lyft and save that money.
That's very true.
To you know, as your deposit. Some people make such good money, $500, $300, you know, $300, $500. It all depends on, you know, how much driving you do. But the opportunity is there for you to make what you need so you can travel. I'm not even saying go and do a fundraiser. Just drive.
Right.
And you will make the money you need to travel.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that should inspire some people that this is attainable, and it doesn't have to be, oh, well, I only make this amount of money. You have other ways to supplement your income.
Yes, you do.
So, thank you. Thank you. I think, was that at the end? Okay. Thank you so much. The website again
is AfricanInternationalCenters.org.
AfricanInternationalCenters.org.
That is correct.
Okay, and people can get up there, sign up. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And before I end it, I'm sorry, I have to indicate some of the trip specifics. We will travel to Federal Territory Abuja, Lagos, Cross River State, Abia, Enugu, Anambra, and as I indicated, Innocent Motors. There will be receptions by the community and the government, you know. So, but we will mainly be in Abia State. Then we travel to these other places. Things can change. We may find that some other governor said, no, I want you to come to mine. So we may flip, you know, and go there. But that's basically it. If I may just summarize, the NWALOTAC Project is to bring take you African Americans home and make you part of the community and show you the beautiful parts of Africa that you, or Nigeria, that you may not hear about, you know. So you get an opportunity to see that, get you inducted into the age grade system so you become part of the community, get land so that you can develop businesses and support not just your particular business, but also provide you know, employment for members of the community. And like I said, if you give them work, they will support whatever it is you're doing. Okay. And that's very important. You know, give them opportunities to make money. They will support whatever you're doing. The industry, the Nigerian government is promoting seriously to get people out of poverty. Tourism is a big part of it, and so we're trying to be a part of that tourism, you know. Okay. So that's basically it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.